Miles back with us, mate. Our World Cup correspondent, official World Cup correspondent. A win tonight, history could be created. Football Ferns could do something that no senior football side in this country has ever done, mate. How good?
Yeah, you'd like to think so. What I'd like to see is first I'd like Olive to shut up, but she is a regular feature on this bit, this segment.
Yes.
What I'd like to see is them really go for it, because goal difference. If for instance, Norway beat Switzerland and then Switzerland beat the Football Ferns and the Philippines, then you'll get, and assuming Norway beat the Philippines they've already beaten the Philippines, Switzerland, you'll get 3 on 6 points and it'll go down to goal difference. And you really want to get a few in the bag. I mean, the Swiss scored 2. If New Zealand could score 3 or 4, it would put them in a much better position. I personally think that Norway-Switzerland game, the Norwegians are going to be desperate. They're liable to win that one. And then it just puts a squeeze on that last game to get something. And I think this Football Fern side have definitely got the ability for that. The one thing that I'm interested in, though, is what lineup are they going to use tonight? Are they going to rest key players and think, well, we could probably beat this lot with a slightly weakened side, and then keep everyone up and running for the next game? I think that'd be a massive mistake. It's nice to be able to give everyone a game and do all this all-inclusive, modern day stuff. But it's only 3 games.
Yeah.
Get out there and play the bloody things.
Well, I mean, the incentive is, isn't it? You win well tonight. You put yourself in pole position in the group and then pole position to qualify. So that's what I'm hoping for. I totally agree with you. And I think, as long as the commitment is there like it was against Norway, I can't see the Philippines causing too many problems, because the one thing that we do have is strength in defence, and we certainly have a physical advantage over them.
Yeah, very much so. Very much so. And I think, the 2-1 game, the result, I don't know if that really plays into this.
No,
now.
I don't think so.
They're going to have another capacity crowd here. The interesting thing to see is how they react with a fanatical crowd who's going to be even more expectant than they were. I mean, that crowd in Auckland weren't expecting anything. They were there for the occasion to cheer them on and hoping for something. The crowd that are going down there tonight, just up the road from me, are going to be desperate, expecting them to win and looking forward to a really exciting night and a victory. How will the Football Ferns react to being under pressure as the favourites? As we saw the Australians struggled, we saw the English struggle. Could that be, that would be the only thing that I'd really be concerned about.
Miles Davis is with us. He's our football correspondent right through the World Cup. Last night's matches, I watched Italy play Argentina, and just tell you what, there's some pretty ferocious tackles that went on in that game, and I don't know whether or not the referees have been saying, hey, look, ease back, don't issue too many cards, but there's a fair few tackles that I thought, if I was watching a men's World Cup game, that the situation would have got a little irate on the back of a couple.
Yeah, do you know something? I've noticed that, and I do wonder whether, I don't know whether that's an edict or whether it's just a natural thing going in there that subconsciously they're going, women wouldn't be dirty and filthy like that, so it must have just been an accident. We'll let them off. Or whether, I do enjoy the full-blooded nature of it. It's the same with the women's rugby. And as in the rugby, they haven't had it coached into them yet to bore the living daylights everyone and being frightened of losing. There's far more of an attacking bent in the women's game, albeit a lot of the time at a slower pace. But the area where I think they really suffer is goalkeeper. We've seen a couple of good goalkeeper performances, but generally, you see these spectacular 40-yard goals that my grandmother could have saved.
Well, last night, to be honest, that Italian header last night, I don't know where the keeper was, what she was doing, why she was positioned where she was, and for that header to go over her head was, I actually put that down to as much of a goalkeeping mistake as I actually thought it was a goal.
Yeah, but these things decide men's games as well.
Of course they do.
It's all... it's the heat of the moment, one little bit of luck or one sort of slip up or lack of concentration. So, the country really has taken it to heart. And, the fact that most of the tickets that have been sold, the ones that have been sold had already been sold. There's more people jumping on the bandwagon now, snapping up the last ones of the Kiwi games. But they'd already supported it. I think the win against Norway has just dragged the rest of the country into it. and FIFA will be desperate for the Football Ferns to get through, because that'll just make this side of the Tasman, even more pumped up. Their first qualifying through. The men haven't done it, and now the women could be the first to do it.
History.
They haven't won a game in 5 World Cups. They haven't won a game, and now they've won one. They could win 2, and they could progress to the last 16, which would be brilliant.
In terms of the crowds, mate, you had 22,000 on a terrible night weather-wise on Saturday night, and that was for Spain, Costa Rica in Wellington, and then you got a full house tonight, and you got a full house on Thursday night for the Dutchies against the United States. It's 2 games that not involving New Zealand teams. That's over 90,000 people. I don't know what else has attracted that many spectators to the Wellington Stadium in a week, other than maybe the Edinburgh tattoo. But, I mean, this is what I don't understand. I mean, why are people still... It's the mainstream media narrative that is still telling us that, ticket sales are poor. What I'm seeing with my own eyes, Miles, compared to, say, Super Rugby Opiki, the Farah Palmer Cup, Super Rugby, the men's competition, is I'm seeing huge crowds following women's football.
Yeah, they are. I mean, but to be fair, it's a world event and it's a unique event. So, if this was going every week, and how many people go and watch the Kate Shepherd Cup? If we want to go down that particular path.
Yeah, true.
But for a world tournament, I mean, and this is what we had: the under-17 men, women, under-20 men. We got there may have been another one that I've missed out, but this is like the 4th FIFA tournament, so I like bringing them down here. This is the biggest one so far, and it's been a huge success. And I can only think that FIFA will think, well, we can give them more. They support the game down there when they get the opportunity. We might go down there again.
I've only watched highlights of Germany 6, Morocco 0, Brazil 4, Panama 0, and it's always difficult, isn't it, when you're looking at these results, cause not to compare them to the men's thing and think, okay, Germany playing Morocco, yeah, they should win that. Brazil playing Panama, yeah, they should win that. I know it's completely different because Italy, Argentina, these 2 teams you'd expect, if that argument was true, that they would be at the top of the table in terms of women's football. They're not. I don't know what to read into these other than, hey, it's a 6-0 and a 4-0. What else?
Well, I mean, if you look at the other results, there haven't been, and I think that, Panama are well down the list as far as, and Morocco, I think it's the debut in the tournament, they're down in the 70s, Panama are in the 50s, so they're pretty lowly ranked teams. They're like 2 of the 4 lowest ranked teams in the competition. I think Zambia are the lowest. But you've still got to go out there and do it, and we've seen, the likes of England playing against Haiti and struggling to put them away. France drawing with Jamaica. These favoured sides struggling. So to put 4 and 6 away in your first game, you've hit the ground running. Germany are ranked 2nd in the world. They're going to be one of the favourites. You've got to be saying, well, who's going to feel happier? The Americans, the British, the French, or the Germans? I'd say the Germans will be pretty happy at the moment.
Does she bark at absolutely everything, that mutt of yours?
Oh, she's just so protective of me, and like every time the phone goes, I'm on the phone. She's thinking, "Who's that at the other end? I better get him." If I go and take the laundry out or the rubbish out, as soon as she hears the bag rustling, she's out the door, bristling, looking for any dangers. It's a nightmare. Absolutely, it's very sweet, but it's a bloody
Have you ever
nightmare.
had another woman in your life behave like this?
None of them protect me, mate. They're trying to attack me most of the time. So I could have done with one a little earlier.
I'll just let you know, finally, I'm replaying the boring bit from yesterday, okay?
Oh, yeah, no, you got to do that, mate. Yeah, you got to bung that one in there because, seriously, that would be, and I've been bored by, over the last 25 years, I've been bored by you many, many times. That was right up there. And your persistence to continue with the boring despite 2 official warnings to stop it was just magnificent, blindly going on with the cobblers and the waffle when I'd already had enough when you started.
Devlin.
Yes! Yes! Can they do it?
The platform.